50 years ago, as President Kennedy's limousine entered Dealey Plaza, Nellie Connolly, the First Lady of Texas, turned to President Kennedy and said, "Mr. President, you can't say Dallas doesn't love you." A minute later, 2 bullets killed the President of the United States. Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested 70 minutes later. 2 days after his arrest, Jack Ruby shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald. The Warren Commission, established by President Johnson, concluded that Oswald and Ruby acted alone. But many believe the assassination was the work of a larger conspiracy. The list of possible conspirators is seemingly endless. Top suspects include the Mafia, the Soviets, the Cubans, even LBJ himself. In fact, the JFK assassination is the most widely believed conspiracy theory in the United States. In an April 2013 poll, 59% agreed that others were involved in a conspiracy to assassinate JFK. Only 24% thought it was the work of one man. So, if you think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, congratulations, you're in the minority. In this new report, Carlin Bowman and I bring together polling data from a lot of major pollsters on the number of Americans who believe in various conspiracy theories. We wanted to know how many Americans believed in these various theories and if belief in these theories is growing. Some people think that JFK was assassinated by one man. Some think it was the work of a larger conspiracy. Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
I am a conspiracy theorist. I do believe that it was more than one.
People often dismiss conspiracy theories as just some feature of the fringe, the far left, the far right, the far uncategorizable.
I just kind of assumed that it wasn't a conspiracy since, conspiracy theorists tend to be crackpots.
But in fact, it's been present across the political spectrum, in the center as well as the extremes, the establishment as well as the outsiders, going back to the beginning of American history.
The number of Americans who firmly believe in conspiracy theories is generally really small. A much larger share of Americans will entertain that these conspiracies are possible or probable.
Dealing with the government, it could be a possibility.
Many Americans are suspicious and they're deeply skeptical about conventional explanations, particularly those involving the federal government.
You're suspicious. Would that be fair?
No question about it. How can we not be today in the U.S.?
Even when a conspiracy theory says absolutely nothing true, even when the conspiracy doesn't exist at all, if it catches on, it still says something true about the anxieties and the experiences of the people who believe it.
I think it was a larger conspiracy than what was exposed to us.
Okay. And why do you say that?
Well, it's not easy to assassinate the President of the United States.
Yeah. And so if you had to guess the number of Americans who believe that it was the work of a conspiracy, where would you kind of ballpark that figure?
Maybe 30%.
Probably 45%.
I would say probably 70%.
10, 15%?
Like 80%, if they're truthful with themselves.
It's actually 60%.
Is that right?
Yes.
I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's actually 60% who believe it was the work of a larger conspiracy. So more Americans believe it than don't believe it. Why do you think that's so particularly high?
Well, I'm shocked. I don't know, that explains a lot, I think, about America.
My experience talking with people on the streets of Washington, D.C. confirmed the data that the belief in the Kennedy assassination and the belief that there's a conspiracy involved is widespread.
Conspiracy theories become a lens that you can look at the past through. See this great panoramic vision of the history of things Americans have been afraid of. And that in turn tells you a lot about the history of Americans.
I suspect that 50 years from now, on the 100th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination, when a public opinion poll is taken, you'll still have a significant chunk of Americans saying that more than one individual was involved.
That there were more than one bullet that did this damage is synonymous with saying that there was another shooter, which they could not.
For the last 50 years, conspiracy theories have been a constant. People's fears and mistrust will always be projected onto large historical events. Looking for alternate explanations is not unique to one particular period in modern American politics. That was true 50 years ago, and it's true now. And knowing how many people believe these theories helps us understand just how much these feelings permeate our society. What do you believe about the JFK assassination, the moon landing, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and other conspiracy theories. Check out our new public opinion study available now on AEI.org.